Welcome to the 6 Series Product Selling Points DVD. After some 15 years, the much anticipated new BMW 6 Series is finally with us, and the objective of this DVD is to support your learning and to improve your product knowledge. The structure has been designed so that you can watch the content in sections or as a complete program. In Chapter 2, Lee Connolly, Product Manager 5 and 6 Series, will outline the strategy and philosophy behind the car's reintroduction. In the Product Focus section, Chapter 3, Gary Richardson, our product trainer, will take you through a number of key features and USPs of the new 6 Series Coupe and Convertible. In Chapter 4, the On-Track section, we invited two well-known guests, namely Tiffany Dale and Penny Mallory, to put the 6 Series to the test against its main rivals. And in Chapter 5, we take a closer look at some of the key features of the Mercedes-Benz SL500 and Jaguar XK8. In the final chapter, I'll provide additional information on how to further enhance your product knowledge and find out more about the 6 Series and other BMW products. Without doubt, the 6 Series is an exciting and influential addition to the BMW product range, and the information contained within this program will help you achieve your objectives within your dealership. So Lee, what are the origins of the new 6 Series?
Well, the new 6 Series has an illustrious past. It takes some of its heritage from some real purist sports coupe cars, such as the 503, the 2000 CS, the 3-litre CS, and the 3-litre CSL, not forgetting the 6 Series and the 8 Series.
Why has it been so long since BMW introduced a large GT coupe like the previous 6 Series or the 8 Series?
Well, BMW have always had a large GT cruiser on the design platform. The current 5 Series was going to be developed as a 5 Series coupe, but they felt it looked sporty enough, and by taking 2 doors away it didn't really fulfil the GT cruiser requirement. The 8 Series, if we can go back, that looked like a sports car but didn't act like a sports car. It was very heavy, very powerful, but didn't have the agility and the dynamics, and at that time it didn't really fit into the BMW model range very well. But this is where the 6 Series really comes into its own.
Where are we positioning the 6 Series?
Well, the 6 Series is being positioned as what we term the best of both worlds. And what we mean by that is it can be offered as sports and luxury. So it can be a sports car, such as a 911 or a Maserati, or it can be a luxurious GT cruiser like the Mercedes SL, CL, or even the Jaguar XK8. But the key thing about the 6 Series, it has everyday usability.
What does a car like the 6 Series do for the BMW brand?
The 6 Series is incredibly important for the BMW brand as it allows us to enter into the GKL Plus segment. This means we can compete against established models like the Mercedes SL and the Jaguar XK8. Not only that, it gives us a halo effect for the whole BMW brand and opens up the door wider for all sorts of conquest opportunities.
We recently launched the 645 Coupe and Convertibles. What other models can we expect to see in the 6 Series range?
Well, in September 2004 we see the introduction of the 630i Coupe and Convertible. That's offered with the new 3-litre engine, so it has more power, it has a better power delivery, so it's a smoother, torquier engine, and also better performance and better fuel economy. In September 2005 we see the introduction of the M6. Now this is the one to wait for. It will be entered with a V10 engine, a 7-speed SMG gearbox, and it will offer state-of-the-art lightweight engineering which will give it superior performance and agility.
Will we see the addition of a diesel in the 6 Series range?
There's no confirmed plans at this stage for a diesel model to be introduced to the 6 Series range. However, with the introduction of the 535D, I would foresee that engine going into it at some stage. It's got 272 brake horsepower, a twin-turbo engine which is plenty of power, which could be introduced to the model range very easily. The benefit of this would take BMW to a higher plane in terms of its competitive segment, because no other competitor has a diesel offering GT cruiser.
How about a sports package, Lee? Will we see that in the future?
No, there's no plans for a sport model because the car looks sporty enough in its standard form, and it's deemed the M6 will take over the sports side of it.
Can you outline some of the core USPs of this car?
The 6 Series offers a unique package not only with the engine lineup, the lightweight engineering, that's a mixture of the aluminium and thermoplastics, but we have the best-in-class luggage capacity. We also have the best-in-class rear seating capacity. So compare it to the Mercedes SL, it doesn't have any seats at all. The Jaguar XK8 does have seats, however all you can put on the back are luggage or small children. Our convertible has the best-in-class soft-top acoustics, which means it's the quietest soft-top on the market. We offer 3 transmissions, that's a manual, automatic and SMG. The drivability of the car is superior within its class. We offer advanced safety features such as run-flat tyres. The advanced head protection system, this is the curtain bag that comes down when activated. Also, advanced system features such as head-up display, dynamic drive and active steering really set the 6 Series apart from its competitors.
So who are the main competitors for the new 6 Series?
Well, fundamentally, the main competitor for 6 Series is the Jaguar XK8. However, we offer a much better proposition all round in terms of price, performance, agility, drivability, luggage capacity and rear seating capacity. So overall it's a better car. But we also position it as what's termed as secondary competitors. Now these are competitors such as the Mercedes SL, CL, the Porsche 911 and the Maserati 4200. Now they're on a different price level to the 6 Series, however they still fit into this sports GT segment where the 6 Series fits into. But our unique offering here is we have the best of both worlds. A 6 Series can be a sports car or it can be a luxury cruiser.
The previous BMW 6 Series was hugely successful. Can the current model build upon and continue that success?
Well, we had to wait 15 years for the new 6 Series to come along, and already the order bank shows that we've got forward sales to March 2005, which is excellent. The new 6 Series injects an enormous amount of passion into the BMW brand, and with the dealer's hard work, I know this will continue, because the 6 Series is just such a fantastic car.
Welcome to the product focus section of the DVD. In order to help you understand the 6 Series in greater detail, we're going to take you around the car and explain some of the key features. This dynamic new design signifies a welcome return of the 6 Series some 15 years since it last rolled off the BMW production line. The design team, headed by Chris Bangle, with Adrian van Hooijdonk and David Karp, have produced what we expect to become a modern-day classic. Without doubt, it has all of the distinctive features of the modern BMW design language, through the use of concave and convex curves, sharp lines, and the classic proportions of a truly great coupe. So let's start off by taking a look at the front of the car. And here we have the unmistakable face of BMW, with the heritage trademarks of the BMW roundel and the twin kidney grills. We have the distinctive dual headlamps with accent rings. Now on the 6 Series, we take the principle of intelligent, lightweight construction just one stage further. Now this was first introduced on the BMW E60 5 Series. And to that end, we have a composite front panel. Now this reduces the risk of damage in low-speed parking accidents. And we also have an aluminium bonnet. In this instance, we have added thermoplast wings and exquisite detailing such as these side indicators. Now this vehicle is fitted with the optional 19-inch ellipsoid alloys. The vehicle comes as standard on 18-inch wheels and all vehicles are fitted with run-flat tyres. Now this eliminates the need for a spare wheel of any description. You can tell a run-flat tyre by the addition of the RSC logo printed here on the side wall of the tyre. It's also noticeable that the vehicle has very short overhangs, both front and rear. And this is so typical of the wheel at each corner stance of the ultimate driving machine. Continuing on the theme of intelligent lightweight construction, we use aluminium door panels and composite sills. In order to maximise the aerodynamic efficiency of the vehicle, we fully enclose the underneath with a material called Superlight. However, the rear three quarters are of a more traditional construction. Being a coupe, The large glass house and low setback cabin introduces a roofline which, in the case of the convertible, is mirrored by the clever use of extended fins. The fully automatic triple-layer hood ensures best-in-class interior noise insulation, and compared to the use of a folding hardtop, a weight saving of some 175 kilos, and also provides best-in-class boot capacity. The heated rear screen can be used as a wind deflector for the rear seat passengers, or to give increased ventilation with the hood either up or down. At the rear of the car, we use a material called SMC, or sheet moulding compound. This allows us to include a small rear spoiler, which increases downforce on the rear of the car. The GPS and telephone aerials, which are normally found in the BMW shark fin, are now moulded into the top surface of the boot. Entry to the boot is enabled by tilting forwards the BMW roundel. The boot capacity is a class-leading 450 litres, and in the case of the convertible, this can be increased from 300 to 350 litres by operating the variable roof compartment. It is not possible to lower the hood with the compartment in its upright position. If attempted, this is clearly indicated by a check control message. Another innovative feature is the utilisation of LED rear light technology. The main benefits being that they illuminate faster, they last longer than conventional bulbs, and they give the vehicle its own distinct nighttime presence. The addition of brake force display technology also significantly increases the safety when braking suddenly. And furthermore, the use of twin stainless steel exhausts gives the 6 Series its own distinct and throaty sound. The sophisticated and stylish interior of the 6 Series offers a further interpretation of the iDrive design concept first introduced in the E65 7 Series. This means that all of the controls necessary to drive the car are within easy reach of the driver. A key feature of the iDrive concept is the ability for the customer to access many functions through the standard 6.5-inch colour display. If the customer specifies the optional BMW Professional navigation system, this gives us an 8.8-inch split-screen monitor and a haptic feedback controller. If specified, the cup holder is located on the transmission tunnel and stored in the rear compartment. Now, this is also the location of the key slot that allows the driver to isolate access to the boot. As you can see, one of the key features of the BMW 6 Series is that it does offer genuine 2+2 accommodation, with plenty of space both in terms of height and width. Interestingly, the first aid kit is located here, in the rear centre armrest. So there you have it, the BMW 6 Series. I've been able to cover the main points of this extraordinary and exciting car. However, if you'd like further information, you can refer to the other sections of this DVD, the salesperson's training guide, the computer-based interactive training disc, or indeed the huge amount of information that's contained on both the BMW GB Infonet site and the BMW.com internet sites.
Welcome to the 6 Series on-track comparison. Penny and myself are here today to put the BMW 6 Series Coupe to the test against two of its main rivals, Jaguar's XK8 and Mercedes SL500.
The tests have been specifically designed to demonstrate a number of key features and to help you with your product knowledge. And later on, I'm going to be driving the convertibles on the road.
But first, the track test. Let's see how the BMW 6 Series Coupe fares against its rivals.
Now I'm in the BMW and he's in the Jaguar XK8. I've got a bigger engine and I've got more power. He is going to get trashed.
Into D, sport button on, a few revs up. Don't like this steering wheel, puts me right off. Still.
Oh, Tiff's got a bit of start on me. But now I'm off and I'm pulling away from the Jaguar.
Oh, she's pulling ahead.
And when this car gets rolling, I'll tell you, it is absolutely fantastic and it's left the Jaguar standing. Now I'm in the Mercedes SL 500 and Tiff's over there in the BMW. Now on paper I'm half a second to 60 slower at 6.3 seconds. My engine's bigger, 4.9 litres, and of course I'm 150 kilos heavier, but I'm still determined to have him if I can.
Right, pop into D, a little bit of sport button on I think. Sit back and relax, very comfy, waiting just to sort this Mercedes out.
Neck and neck!
Oh, and we're pulling away, we're pulling away, we're pulling away, we're pulling away. Woohoo!
Pipped me at the post! Now Tiff, how did the 6 Series compare with the XK8?
Well, on paper it was the favourite. It's got a bit more power, it's got more torque, but I think the power delivery was so seamless and smooth in the BMW that it really got ahead. I thought that Jaguar might have an advantage somewhere, but it wasn't to be, and the BMW beat it quite easily, really, in the end. Now, of course, you took on the BMW with the Mercedes, which gave it a bit of a better fight, I think.
Well, it was, you know, because we got off the line together and I really thought I might be able to take you, but you just pulled away from me, not too much. I mean, there wasn't much in it, but you did have me in the end.
Right. How does the BMW take the slalom at 50 miles an hour? Try and get all the way through. Right. Very smooth, keeping the throttle in. I can feel the DSC preventing me from sliding, working for me, and I come out at 50 miles an hour. Very impressive. What can the Jaguar do at 50? Traction on, roll straight away more and more. I can feel the traction control, brakes are coming on, and it's getting me out of... And we finish at about 40 miles an hour. With a little sweat on our brow. Right, let's try the Merc. At 50 miles an hour, in drive, like all the others, all the stability controls are on. And that's good. Once again, the anti-skid, I can feel it operating, exiting at 50, and I have to say, that's pretty much as good as the BMW.
Now, Tiff, you got to drive all three cars through the slalom, and from the outside, the Jaguar looked like it had a lot of body roll, but I was quite surprised how comparable the Mercedes and the BMW were. What was happening inside the car?
Well, so I used the BMW to set the pace, and I set off at my steady 50 miles an hour, and then through the turns, it really stayed amazingly flat, and that dynamic drive really was working to stop that body roll building up, which is what happens in most slaloms, and it cruised through at 50 miles an hour, and I was most impressed. Then, of course, I drove the Jaguar, and it was like a barge rolling about all over the place, and its stability control or whatever, it started putting the brakes on me before I even got to the end of the run, so I tottered out at about 45 miles an hour. But the Mercedes, I have to say, it was impressive, because it's got its own version of dynamic drive, and that again cornered very flat, and that got through at 50 as well, so it was almost a level pegging there. On then to the driving dynamics of the Jaguar. Am I sitting comfortably? Well, no, actually. I feel like I'm sitting on top of the car, and this seat is as far back as it will go. I'm still not really as far away from the steering wheel or the pedals as I'd like, so I don't exactly get 10 out of 10 for driving position. The problem is, as I drive a bit faster, I'm actually beginning to fall out of the seat on these sharper bends. It really just no. Oh, there's a bit of a slide there. but the anti-skid control came to our rescue and no harm was done. Now it's all cut out dead on me now. Why? I'm on full throttle and I'm going absolutely nowhere. See? For a moment then, the Jaguar decided it didn't like the way I was driving, so it just gave me half throttle. Wonderful.
Right, well I'm in the Mercedes SL 500. It is a cracking car, fantastically powerful, very positive brakes, lovely turn, it's got very nicely balanced steering. I'm just going to come up to this tighter corner where we go quite heavy on the brakes and it does stop incredibly well. Now I've got stability program on so that all the clever electronics work to balance this car out, and whether you're going through these faster wet corners or the slower ones, it's incredibly clever. It really is one hell of a match for this BMW.
Now I'm sitting comfortably, nice and low. I'm held by a hip-hugging seat. I've got a steering wheel that's all one colour. That puts me a bit more in the mood for driving. Brakes first then. The ABS coming, a much more reassuring pedal. And again, we've got the DSC all switched on, so we're like any normal driver. Oh, we can't be hooligan. I'm now on full throttle and much less body roll than on the Jag. And I can feel the DSC coming to my aid, taking away some power from me, the cheating swine. But it does it now in such a smooth way that you hardly really notice you've got it on. I can't quite hear that beautiful engine note. It sounds so much better on the outside. I almost want to wind my window down to listen to it. Certainly felt less roll. The steering weight is much better. It gives a much more consistent feel. As I've said already, the brakes feel better. It's just a much more polished performer. Now all I need, to be honest, is a manual gearbox. And of course on the BMW you can have that manual option. And Penny, you started by putting the Mercedes against the BMW.
I did, Tiff, and quite frankly I had a ball driving both those cars around the track. Really enjoyed myself. I thought the Mercedes was a brilliant car. I really enjoyed it. And then of course I got in the 6 Series and quite frankly I was blown away. I thought it was brilliant. Everything it does well. It goes well, it stops well, it turns in well, and what particularly impressed me was the feedback that you get through the wheel and through your bum. Quite often at this level with this kind of car, it feels very numb and you get very little communication from the road, but that just wasn't the case with the 6 Series. But I want to know how the Jag was around the track.
Well, Penny, as you know, it was wet out there, and the Jaguar was more like tacking to and fro in a sailing barge, whereas the BMW was like sitting in a powerboat. I mean, it was hugely different. I mean, we saw it in the slalom test, and the Jag, dear bless its soul, was rolling around. I'm sitting on top of the seat, and the steering wasn't so good, and it just wasn't up to it. And as soon as I got on the BMW, I had a smile on my face. Even with the traction control on, it was still beautifully planted, and of course I was then encouraged, of course, to switch it off and really enjoy driving. Fantastic steering feel, sitting low, the power delivery is there all the time. All I want now is my manual gearbox.
So I'm on the road in the XK8 and I have to tell you that I couldn't drive off straight away because it took me 5 or 10 minutes to get a decent enough seating position. I'm still not happy, I'm still not comfy, and that's the first thing that strikes you, is it's just not a great driving position. Again, you're on top of the car, not in it, particularly with the seats. They're not bucket seats, they don't hold you in, and when you're going through these twisty country roads, you move around a lot on the seat. Now, if you look just behind me, you'll see that there's no way a passenger would squeeze in behind me. If you've got somebody next door to you in the front here with particularly short legs, you can move the seat forward and you might just squeeze a child in behind. But this is not a true 2+2. I'm now doing, 60 miles an hour on the dual carriageway, and the level of noise has increased dramatically since I've increased from 30 miles an hour. There's also a vibration through the wheels. So through the country lanes, again, any single little bump in the road is totally exaggerated through the steering wheel. You really get to feel quite low. And for such a cruiser, you'd expect it to ride over a lot more of these bumps in the road, but the rigidity is just not the same in a convertible. There's so much vibration through the steering wheel, it's really very surprising. So 60, 70 miles an hour in the XK8 on the dual carriageway, and the increase in vibration is quite significant. You only have to look at my hair to see what's happened in terms of turbulence. It's really very windy in here. Time now for the Mercedes SL500, and you can jump in this car and within seconds get a very good driving position with brilliant visibility. It's a much smaller car than the other two, and that's made very obvious straight away by the back seats. There aren't seats at all. It was never designed as a 2+2. You just get a couple of small cases on there if you're lucky. The inside is let down by the metalwork that you can see, the mechanics of the roof, which is a bit of a shame. But the layout inside is very well thought through. And it's a comfortable car to be in, and of course it was built as a dedicated coupe and as a convertible, so that when the roof's up it's a solid car, which means you get no vibration and very, very quiet cabin indeed. Now with the roof down, I cannot feel any vibration at all. I'm not getting shaken to bits, and I'm not really being blown to bits at this speed, so I can't complain. It's a very nice car to be in. I'm going to build my speed up now on the dual carriageway up to 60 miles an hour. And yes, my hair's getting blown around a bit, but nothing like it was in the Jaguar. It's just a nice calm breeze in here, and there's no hurricane at all. And I'm not having to shout like I was in the Jaguar. The noise level is still fairly low. They've really sorted this car out. So at last, I get to drive the BMW 645 convertible, and it took me, 20 seconds to find the spot-on perfect driving position for me, because there's enough buttons on both the steering column and the seat to get it just right. And look at that headroom. This chair as well, this seat is just lovely. You sink into it, so you're in the car, not on the car, and it just hugs you nicely. And look at the space in the back. This is a genuine 2+2. There's easily enough space for two people my size very comfortably. The triple air roof is doing its job brilliantly, because as I'm increasing my speed to 60 miles an hour on a dual carriageway, the noise level is not increasing significantly, so the cabin remains nice and quiet. There is a genuine feeling of space in this car, no feeling of claustrophobia, no feeling of being hemmed in whatsoever. It's just been very intelligently designed. Well, vibration in a BMW, there is nothing I can say. There is zero coming through the wheel. It is so solid, it's remarkable, comfortable and quiet. The steering is weighted just enough to give you great feedback. It's not too light, it's not too heavy, and I love the actual size of the steering wheel in my hand. It's just right. It's riding the bumps fantastically. There's quite a lot of bad surface on this road, and it's just gliding over it, although I don't feel like I've lost any communication with the road. I'm really struggling to fault this car. Well, 60 miles an hour in the BMW, dual carriageway, but it feels like just a calm breeze in here. Now, the rigidity is quite astonishing. The car feels absolutely rock solid. Of course, it's been designed as a convertible, so they've inherently built in all the rigidity that they possibly can, and it works. I mean, it is just solid as a rock. Put your foot down, you get such a wonderful engine note. Oh, it's great. Having driven all the cars, I cannot deny that the Mercedes is a superb car, but it only has 2 seats, and at over £70,000 is easily the most expensive car here. The Jaguar XK8 is really showing its years now, and it lacks a lot of attributes that I'd expect to find in a car in this sector. So for performance and comfort, for style and for practicality, I have to say that the BMW 6 Series is really in a class of its own.
Welcome to the competition chapter of this DVD. The aim of this section is to provide you with a greater understanding of the 6 Series' 2 main competitors, the Mercedes-Benz SL 500 and the Jaguar XK8. Starting with the XK8, it was launched in 1996 as a replacement for the XJS and was the first new sports car launched by Jaguar for 20 years. Playing cleverly on its unique Britishness, the beautifully styled XK8 rapidly became the fastest selling sports car in Jaguar's history. 2003 saw the XK8 undergo a significant update, which included most notably the introduction of a larger engine and a 6-speed transmission. Although 900 amendments were made to the car, exterior alterations remained subtle, with modifications including a new front bumper, headlight design, additional exterior colours and a range of new interior trim combinations. It has also been updated from a 5-speed and is now only available with a 6-speed automatic gearbox. As the core competitor to the 6 Series, it is available as a coupe and convertible and is fitted with a naturally aspirated 4.2 litre V8 engine that produces 298 brake horsepower and posts a 0 to 62 figure of 6.3 seconds. The coupe improves upon this figure by shaving a further 0.2 of a second from the sprint time, and the top speed is electronically limited to 155 miles per hour. The coupe's entry price of £49,920 makes it slightly less expensive than the 645 coupe. The XK8's age is probably most pronounced in terms of its ride and handling. Despite a number of improvements to the chassis, suspension and engine, the XK8 still fails to impress in terms of sheer driving ability, with body roll being particularly apparent. From the exterior, the Jaguar looks deceptively large, and you expect this feeling of space to be continued within the cabin. However, this isn't the case, and I do feel rather claustrophobic in here. The convertible has 9mm less headroom than the coupe and feels particularly cramped for someone of my height, even with the seat in its lowest position. As you'd expect from a Jaguar, wood and leather are in abundance, giving the interior a very pleasant Old English drawing room sort of feel. Although the leather is of good quality, the contours and lack of lateral support of the seats don't lend themselves to comfortable driving. As you'd expect of a car of this class, the steering wheel adjusts for both rake and reach. However, the positioning of the multi-function buttons doesn't feel particularly intuitive or well thought out. The dashboard is quite upright and square, with a multitude of buttons located on the centre console. Whilst relatively simple and easy to use, the visual and tactile quality of the switchgear tends to take away from the overall feeling of quality within the cabin. Vision is good through the windscreen, however rear visibility is particularly constrained. One of the key features that gives the interior its cramped feel is the large transmission tunnel, which seems to occupy a disproportionately large amount of space that could have been used for additional storage. In terms of safety, the XK8 is quite well equipped and comes with ABS, electronic brake force distribution and driver, front passenger and side airbags. Surprisingly, airbags are not available in the rear, and in the convertible there is a noticeable absence of either reinforced roll bars or a pop-up rollover protection system. Rear head and legroom is practically obsolete for all but the smallest children, and the rear seats appear to have been designed for additional luggage storage only. The convertible roof is fully automatic and retracts in 17 seconds. Unlike both the BMW and Mercedes, the Jaguar doesn't come fitted with a built-in tonneau cover. In actual fact, a separate tonneau cover is stored loosely in the boot and must be fitted manually. This operation makes the process of putting the roof down quite laborious and time-consuming. However, it is necessary in order to protect the interior headlining from a build-up of everyday road grime. The boot capacity in the Jaguar is good, with 327 litres in the coupe, decreasing to 307 litres in the convertible. However, this does not take into account the space occupied by the loose tonneau cover. In conclusion, the XK8 has been very successful for Jaguar and has helped to kickstart their somewhat jaded product range at a time when they needed it most. Cleverly marketed on its unique historical identity and with a design that has remained popular over time, the Jaguar is nonetheless starting to show its age in terms of ergonomics and all-round handling ability. A new all-aluminium model is expected in late 2005, and we anticipate this will counter many of the chassis and suspension failings associated with the current model. So now, let's have a look at the Mercedes. Launched in 2002 to widespread critical acclaim, the current SL was designed with a simple brief in mind: take its impressive predecessor and make it considerably better. Currently in its 5th generation, the SL has an established pedigree that can be traced back to the highly collectible 300 SL Gullwing of the 1950s. In line with Mercedes' current design ethos, the SL reflects a fresh but not radical change over its predecessor. Overall, the styling works well and both media and public feedback has been very positive. The SL range currently comprises 4 models, ranging from the 245 brake horsepower entry-level SL350 through the SL5 and 600 to the flagship 500 brake horsepower SL55 AMG. The car we have here is the SL500, which is just over £72,000 on the road, and due to the substantial price differential makes the Mercedes a secondary but nonetheless highly important competitor to the 6 Series. The SL500 produces 306 brake horsepower, 460 Nm of torque, a 0 to 62 time of 6.3 seconds, and electronically limited top speed of 155 miles per hour. This gives the Mercedes power and performance advantages over the Jaguar, but not the 6 Series. The SL500 is only available with Mercedes' recently introduced 7-speed automatic gearbox, which, although greatly enhancing the overall smoothness the previous SL transmissions lacked, has added considerable weight to the car. The chassis and suspension are impressive, and the addition of Mercedes' active body control as standard helps to keep body roll and brake dive to a minimum. Inside the car, the SL feels considerably more spacious than the Jaguar. Legroom and headroom are impressive even for someone over 6 foot, and finding the ideal driving position is simple due to the array of fully electric seat and steering adjustment functions. The seats feel comfortable to begin with and lateral support is good. However, the contours do tend to push the occupant out of the seat rather than holding them in it, particularly on longer journeys. Furthermore, the presence of the Mercedes trademark foot-activated parking brake is intrusive in the footwell and makes for an uncomfortable leg position whilst driving. In contrast to the Jaguar's dashboard, the SL's feels more refined and less cluttered. All of the controls on the centre console are easy to use and intuitive. However, the presence of blank buttons on either side of the gear stick may make some feel as if they have omitted important options from the list. All round, visibility is excellent and ergonomically the car feels well engineered. The majority of materials are good, however the plastic used on the instrument cowling and storage compartments in the doors feels cheap and poorly fitted. Furthermore, as Penny mentioned in the on-track section, the presence of the uncovered roof mechanism does detract from the overall feeling of quality expected within a car of this price. It seems that a lot of thought has gone into optimizing usable storage space within the cabin, which is best illustrated by the deep door pockets, central armrest and the storage compartments located behind the rear seats. Safety within the Mercedes is very good. As standard, it has ABS, brake assist, electronic stability program and driver and passenger front and head airbags. Unlike the Jaguar, the passenger airbag can be deactivated using the key, and a rollover protection system is also fitted as standard. One of the key features of the SL is the folding hardtop or Vario roof. This particular car is fitted with the £1,400 panoramic glass sunroof option, which helps to provide the car with a light and airy feel. The SL's impressive roof operation is fully automatic and transforms from coupe to convertible in 16 seconds. However, the downside of a roof of this nature is its weight and the amount of space it occupies within the boot. One thing that is surprising when opening the boot is the flimsy nature of the hinge mechanism, which feels as if it could be damaged in a gust of wind. Luggage capacity in the SL is an adequate 317 litres with the roof up. However, this volume decreases to 235 litres with the roof down. The presence of a space-saver spare wheel also minimises usable storage space within the boot. In an attempt to overcome this limitation on practicality, Mercedes have installed a button that enables the roof to be lifted when it is folded down, so that luggage can be stowed more easily underneath. In conclusion, it is clear to see that the SL500 is an impressive and dynamically well-engineered car. Its image, desirability and folding hardtop make for some of the key customer buying motives. However, some build quality issues and poor material use detract somewhat from the overall feeling of quality. Nevertheless, Mercedes order banks are very high and this car will continue to be a strong competitor to the 6 Series for the foreseeable future. I've only been able to address some of the key nuggets of information relating to these vehicles and their respective strengths and weaknesses. For more information, please log on to the Mercedes-Benz and Jaguar websites in order to obtain a more in-depth understanding of the products discussed here. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that the 6 Series is an excellent proposition, and I wish you the best possible success in selling this fantastic car. Further information on the 6 Series and other BMW products can be found in the Salesperson's Guide, the computer-based interactive CD-ROM, the BMW GB Infonet site, or the BMW.com internet site. And finally, we want to ensure that the training material produced here at BMW GB is as relevant and informative as possible. To that end, we would really appreciate it if you could take a moment to complete the online feedback form located on the CFD Infonet page, listed under Product and Events. Thanks for watching and goodbye.